Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Welcome to my presentation. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming here today. Let me introduce myself. First, my name is Ahmad Athoillah. I am delighted to be here today to tell you about national identity. This presentation consists of 3 sections. First, I will start by talking about definition of national identity. Then I will focus on the historical, sociological, and politics of national identity. And finally, I will end with the essence and urgency of a national identity. This presentation will take about 10 minutes. There will be a question and answer session after my presentation. Thus, if you have questions, please leave them until the end of the presentation. First, I will explain about learning outcomes. Able to understand and explain the essence and urgency of national identity as a determinant of national development and character. The concept of national identity, the reason why a national identity is needed, exploring historical, sociological, and political sources on Indonesian national identity, will argument about the dynamics and challenge of Indonesia national identity. The essence and urgency of a national identity, fostering a sense of nationalism, the embodiment of state defense. Next, I understanding of national identity. The concept of national identity. Identity comes from English identity, which literally means the identity, characteristic, or sign attached to someone or something so that they are able to distinguish them from others. The term national refers to groups of communions of human life that are larger than Jewish groupings based on race, religion, culture, language, and so on. In the context of civics, national identity is closer to the meaning of identity, namely the characteristic of characteristic, feeling or belief about nationality that distinguishes the Indonesian nation from other nations. The reason why a national identity is needed. The founding fathers' legacy of priceless genius was Pancasila. Pancasila as a national identity is not only physical like a symbol or symbol, but is a reflection of the nation identity in a psychological form, non-physical, which reflects the character and behavior of Indonesian people so that it can be distinguished from other nations. Now, let's move on the next section, which is about exploring historical, sociological, and political sources on Indonesia national identity. Sociologically, national identity has been formed in the process of natural interaction, communication, and cultural contact, either through the long journey to independent Indonesia or through the intensive post-independence formation. Politically, the form of Indonesian national identity becomes the character or builder of the Indonesian national identity, which includes the flag of Sang Merah Putih, Indonesian as the national language or static language, the national symbol of Garuda Pancasila, and the national anthem of Indonesia Raya. Now, let's move on to the next section, which is about will argument about the dynamics and challenge of Indonesia national identity. The formation of a national identity through the development of Indonesia culture was carried out long before independence, namely through the 1918 Cultural Congress and the First Indonesia Language Congress in 1938 in Solo. Events related to culture and language through the Congress have had a positive influence on the development of national identity or identity. And now let's move on the next section, which is about the essence and urgency of a national identity. National identity is very important for the Indonesian nation because 1. The Indonesian nation can be distinguished and at the same time recognized by other nations. 2. National identity for a nation is very important for survival because it can unite the nation. And 3. National identity is important for the dignity of the Indonesian state as a characteristic of the nation. The Spire Identification Number and PWP as a citizen identity, fostering a sense of nationalism, the embodiment of state defense. So that's all I wanted to say about national identity. In conclusion, not only your country is rich in culture, but also race, religion, and others. In this presentation, I only mentioned a few definitions national identity, but in reality, we have country is rich in culture. Now, I will be pleased to answer questions if you have them. If there are no more questions, I like to end my talk here. Thank you so much for coming and for listening to my presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.